Hello, everybody. Anybody who may be here, because this is an unannounced stream in the moment of Lornt. Is it like, what are we on now? 7th of October. So that's like, I should know this. Is it like 17th he got busted? So,
You don't know his birthday?
it's the 17th, isn't it?
No, he started on the 17th in September. His birthday's on the 18th.
Ah, 17th, 18th. Knew something like that. Anyway, so yeah, we're in the. I don't even know what day of Lornt it is. God, so out of the loop. I'm sure someone in the chat can enlighten us, hopefully. But if anybody's turned up yet, of course, because like I said, it is a bit zero in the chat. But of course, people will tune in. People have notifications all the time. We already got our first person in. And Blue Boy's here as well. Hello all. So yeah, we're in Lornt, and 2 new lawn calls have been released over the last couple of days, so we can chew the fat about them a little bit. I found them both incredibly entertaining. First of all, I think you've both listened to it. We've got to discuss the call where Lawn calls Casey to complain about the predators that were there to spy on her. This is just fucking
and how he wants to reboot the show.
It was to a crowdfunder for.
Yeah, but not for the purpose of saving children, but to get back at the guys who are hitting on Casey. I'd like to hear him pitch that to Chris. That would be great.
I mean, for sort of the comedy value, I think that'd actually be a winner. I think it'd actually make some kind of a bizarre, entertaining. I mean, you could think of a comedic style approach to that show, couldn't you, Adam?
What, to catch a predator?
Well, involving Lorne getting another season launched. I mean, he's the sort of the front runner of this show. You haven't got perverted justice. You've not got a parallel police investigation or Chris Hansen. You've just got Lorne. Lorne presents to catch a predator.
Well, I didn't really understand what his aim was with that call. Like, I didn't realize he was just trying to get back at the men that tried to get to her. But did he not really understand the premise of the show? Like,
I don't think he understands anything.
He's the premise of the show.
Exactly.
What? So he wants men to come and chase after him?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think it was a form of love bombing on his part.
I do.
Where,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he just thought of something that he thinks she wants to hear. So it's like, I'm that outraged by my previous behaviour that I would like the show to come back to catch the other people that are not like me.
No, I think it's more specific than that. I think I'm jealous of other people, other predators, not like me, but unlike me, who should be arrested for it. And you should know how special you are to me because of how weirdly jealous I am right now. You know, that's his way. That's his way of saying, I love you. You know, he thinks jealousy is a positive emotion in a relationship, and that it expresses loyalty or something.
Yeah.
Well, he looks for any excuse to try and show his love for that person. He thinks it's very. I remember I used to be like that when I was like a child, like at school. And I had no idea what I was doing, and I wanted to impress girls. I literally made all the mistakes that Lorne's making now, apart from... Well, actually, I was straight chasing children, but luckily I happened to be one at the time, so I was okay. But it is such a bizarre, immature way of... It's like, if I express this bizarre, over-the-top, desperate love, she's bound to find me attractive. It's very odd, isn't it?
I used to go around to girls in high school and tell them I would die for them. All the time.
And did you actually say because you're 13 as well?
Well, I would of course put a disclaimer on it, say under a reasonable circumstance, though,
That's funny, right? Because if you think about it, to say you would die for someone, if it was meant truthfully, that could possibly be, if the girl understood it, one of the most romantic things someone could say. It basically means, I will fight, I will do anything for you. I think it's true romance. But the thing that he said after it is the opposite of that.
I will die for you, and I'll take you with me. That's Lornt. That's his version of it.
But when people say they won't die for him, he'll say, "Well, what if I was a baby?" And it's like, but you're not a baby, and he's like, "Yeah, but if I was a 3-year-old baby with Parkinson's, why wouldn't I?"
Don't go there, Adam.
Well, what? Why not? All right, not Parkinson's.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
I was only just because do you remember that time when you got into trouble for saying something? Never mind, sorry.
But I get your point, Adam. I definitely get it.
Yeah. But he said something
transactional,
like that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was homeless but I had AIDS, would you give me mouth to mouth?
Right.
Or along
Right.
not exactly that, but along those lines.
Yeah. It's just a strange way of expressing your love by saying, didn't he say he came out of he had a dream, or he came out of a sleep and that's the first thing he thought of? What a disturbed mind.
Sorry.
You wake up, as soon as you wake up, that those weird thoughts are swimming in your head. That's strange. And then to think that somehow it would come off as complimentary. That's what's strange.
What he said about bringing the show back? It came to him in a dream.
Or his idea, or whatever it is. But yeah, just a strange call. And Blue Boy's reaction was like ours.
Blue Boy's reaction was very
what the fuck?
hard for Lornt to take, because he wanted some form of validation to his epiphany, which was like, oh, I think that show should be brought back, and you're going to see that I'm this virtuous character who's completely turned around. But there was no reaction whatsoever. It was like, what are you telling me for? What the fuck are you talking about? He didn't really know, because if I remember correctly, I've actually listened to it twice. That's how fucking sad I am. But he actually said, "What's with the fucking attitude?" at one point, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so he was really... And to be honest, I was almost with him at that point. I was like, fucking hell, it was a little bit cringe for Lornt, because he was kind of laying it all out there and getting nothing back.
Yeah, but he was talking nonsense.
Huh?
He was talking nonsense.
Well, of course.
I'd be interested. Did Blue Boy get some kind of a preface to this call? Did he get some kind of a text message or something saying, "I got to talk to you about something so
That's
important"?
That's a good question. Well, he's in the chat, so if he's still listening,
I'm just
we might
curious.
be able to get an answer.
Did this just come out of the Blue Boy, and did he try to dress it up as of crucial importance or something? I'm curious. But anyway.
Yeah,
he
people are asking where the new calls is. The one that we're talking about is the last call that was uploaded on Blue Boy's channel. We're probably going to talk a little bit about the latest robot call that was uploaded on Reborn's channel. What was it called? Lawmas Part 8 or something? Have you listened to that, guys, yet? Because it's pretty decent.
I haven't yet, no, but I don't mind spoilers.
It's basically, I've still got, I think, the last 25 minutes to listen to, so it's not a full reveal. But he just cries for the whole. It's pretty remarkable. I didn't know. I'd never heard. Have you heard about the English girl Debbie that he slept with allegedly a week after Paula dumped him?
He left her in tears.
Yeah. You heard about that, Adam?
No.
Right, you're going to need to listen to that call.
It sounds like something from Grease 2 that he watched, that would be the sort of film he would watch.
Aside from the weird emotions he had in that, I think one of the best parts of that call is we got another version of the Paula situation, and we have two diametrically opposite versions, and he seems to be stuck with one of them. But the old version was he was heartbroken. He took Tylenol.
Yeah, he was like he tried killing himself, didn't he? He didn't mention that in the latest fucking.
No, in this one he laughs it
recital.
off. I just went back to sleep. Okay, and then Lornt's typical way of dealing with pain is to inflict it on someone else. So this Debbie person was going to feel his pain too. And he actually said in that call, which is strange because Will had asked him, he said, well, because she hurt you, meaning Jamie, you just decided to hurt her in exchange. And he justified that. Well, somebody should feel the pain. I'm thinking that is the most malicious thing you can do. That is full of malice.
Yeah, I heard that bit as well. I was listening to it before. It was because I think Will was like, that's pretty childish. He's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, I mean, a lot of people, when they're heartbroken, especially young, what's the first thing that you do? You go out and you try and get laid, don't you? There's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with that, but the way that he went about it, but aren't we giving him... Aren't we suggesting that was a real story? Anyway. Well, exactly. It's like the Paula thing. I'm really intrigued by that because none of it makes sense. It's like, right, okay, I know we're covering old ground here, but that's what we do with Lornt. And plus, this is an intriguing story, so we'll go with it for a little bit. It doesn't make any sense to me. What I was going to say then? It doesn't make any sense to me that he was in love with someone that he wasn't in a relationship with, but he's in love with a fucking robot, a male robot on the phone, so of course it makes sense.
Yeah, the field's wide open, Andrew. You don't have to
no, you're right.
be surprised
I feel a bit stupid now, but I suppose what I was getting at with that is he thought they were in a relationship, but there was no relationship, but yet that broke his heart for 25 years, but I think... I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway here. When you sort of compartmentalise it in your brain, you've only got your own judgment system to run it through, so you think this is silly. And then when you sort of explain it and you remember it's from Lorne's world, you go, oh, actually, yeah, this is exactly what he'd do, be fixated on a girl that he never... But to him, if his story is to be believed, he had sex with this girl, which in Lorne's world... is going to be pretty rare, although he says it isn't. And then what are the odds, right? What are the fucking odds that he got with this girl? Boyfriend dropped her off. He screwed her. Boyfriend picked her up. He tried killing himself. Then a week later, he screws English Debbie. What's all that about?
Yeah. It didn't happen, though, because any woman that shows him any... If he had actually shagged a woman, he would obsess over her just as much as any other. He knows that he's a troll freak.
We actually got whatever he can get. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
He added some things that he embellished on it. And by the way, we should also ask ourselves, where's he getting these stories, right? But some of the new information that we got is that apparently it was hours they were together. Okay. And I always got the impression from the earlier versions that they were, probably no more than an hour or whatnot, but also that she was attempting to seduce him the entire time. And then, because I recall a version of that story where they were just sitting on the couch and he decided he wanted to go to bed or she wanted to go to bed. And they said, okay, well, I guess we'll just sleep together. And then next thing you know, she's jumping all over him because every woman can't help themselves. So, but in this version, she came over for
version. It's like this is the director's cut.
Yeah. So we get a little bit more information, but going back, where do you think he gets these stories? Oh, first of all, do we all agree that they're a lie?
Well, we do, but me and you, Shin, I think we both agree with these. There's a slither of truth in them. And it's trying to figure out what that sliver of truth is now. I think Paula did exist as a real person. I think she was a real person who worked in this bar.
That's the only truth.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The rest
Oh,
is
she
a
was a
complete
woman.
fiction.
And she worked
That's
at this
as far as
bar
it
that
went.
Lorne used to frequent, right? Okay, that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
We're
And-
figuring
and
it out.
I mean, I haven't heard it, but it's convenient. His rebound story is English person who could, I guess, conveniently go back to England and never
Yeah.
be verified.
And
Yeah.
as well, what's interesting, and I'm glad Outdoor Loser has reminded us in case this English girl called Debbie cried when Lorne told her about Paula. What are the odds that a girl that's got that little about her that she's going to have a one night stand with a character like Lorne is so emotionally sensitive that she cries when is told that the only reason Lorne did it was because he'd had his heart broken a week earlier.
It's just strange.
And also,
Yeah.
another thing, right? It's just occurred to me. All right, I've just had the thought that let's just go with Lorne's story about Paula, right? She was dropped off at Lorne's by this guy. She decided within the time that she was at Lorne's that she was going to get back with the guy because he picked her up. But their relationship was that flimsy anyway. Why did Lorne get so upset when he picked her up? I mean, he dropped her off. What's the big deal here?
Well, it
Is
depends
it?
what version. One, he wasn't upset, and the other, he was upset. So we're going to assume which version we're talking about. And
No.
going back to the Debbie crying thing real quick, it was really, Lorne's reaction to that was, basically, I'm paraphrasing, I didn't realize I had a secret admirer. I didn't realize she liked me these whole times. In other words, he doesn't ever have interactions where people can develop
Debbie.
these instincts or whatever. What he said was, nobody ever told me she liked me. In other words, none of her friends, because they all lived in the same house, and none of them came up to me and says, "Hey, do you know that Debbie likes you?" It's like elementary school with this guy. That's how he thinks romance is initiated for adults. Andrew, next time you come to the States, I'm gonna go to the bar and just walk up to a girl and say, that guy over there likes you.
Do you know what?
Fucking weird.
With how easy it is to get laid in America, I'm fucking jumping on a plane back tomorrow because, I wasn't aware of this when I last came to Boston. I was a bit scared of, but now I'm just going to go all in and just turn up with a Borat-style underwear on and just going to get laid every 5 minutes. Can't fucking wait.
That's right. That's how it works here, Andrew.
You coming, Adam?
And if you look like Lorne, all the better.
Well, yeah.
Well, I've got something in common with him, a lack of hair.
That's about it, I hope. But yeah, I mean, he makes it sound like he's Leonardo DiCaprio walking in places where people are,
But
it's-
the truth is,
hoping he
the
violate them.
only sexual thing I can say 100% that he's done is sucked his brother's cock.
That's
Oh.
it. I believe that too. And the other way around, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they looked at us. Nah, we don't want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
hate to
you're
make
not.
fun. I hate to make light of real abuse, but we're talking here about, I believe it's just about siblings and weird curiosity.
Yeah,
like that.
Lorne was probably all like, "Oh, let me suck you off."
He probably wouldn't stop. He was the guy who wouldn't stop.
Yes. His brother's looking down
Yeah,
at
they say,
him
"Get the
going, "What are
fuck
you
away
doing,
from him,
Lorne?
man."
Why are you doing that?" Oh. And then
Put some
he
fucking clothes
ejaculates.
on.
Yeah. So
Oh, mercy.
disgusting.
Yeah, I love that tale because I'd never heard of this English Debbie before, right? So it's like we've got another potential. Well, it's not potential. I apologise for insulting the intelligence of myself and anybody listening, but we've got another bullshit story that that me and Shin are gonna try and get to the bottom of over the next few years. So we've got Paula, we've got Mikey's mum, we've got Debbie. Who else?
Oh, Mike and his mum. I forgot about the mum that he fucked in his furnitureless apartment while the son waited in the room next door.
On the floor. Yeah. Mikey's
Just
gonna wait
listening
on
to
the
his
floor
mum
or
getting
sit on his
banged
computer
because there's
desk.
no TV.
Well, Mikey will turn on his computer. Who's this? That's my niece. Okay. Go ahead and fuck my mother. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The,
fuck
the
your mum.
weird?
The Mexicans knock on the door and Mikey answers, and they're like, "Oh, where's Lorne?" And he's like, "Oh, he's in the back banging my mum."
How weird is that? That Lorne thinks that it's not that's not taboo at all to even know your mother's having sex, but to be in the same, um, uh, building or even building or side of the world, wherever you are. It's the last thing you want. He made it seem so normal.
Yeah.
Mikey's just going to sit there and wait. Makes you wonder what kind of life Lorne had growing up. His mother probably went to the bathroom with the door open and all kinds of shit.
Ugh.
I know. That's the kind of life they had. I just a weird Wild West running Lorne naked running around up till he was 19. Who knows?
Sucking off his brother.
Come on, let's do it again. You showed me that.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird about Lorne's stories, right? About Mikey's mom and Paula and even the Debbie girl. He surprises me with his ingenuity to lie. Because I'm like, he'll be asked a question, and then I can't think of a specific example, but he'll be asked with the question of, so what did you do then? Did you go straight? Oh, no, we didn't go. She didn't go straight home. We stayed for an hour, and it was like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, there's two possibilities, right? He's either a very good liar, which doesn't really make sense because you have to have a degree of intelligence to be a good liar, or he's that fucking mental that he makes up these narratives as he goes along.
No, he didn't make it up. I think when we also talk about a kernel of truth, that is something that's true about him. I think there's kernels of truth that he adds to these stories that are other people's stories. So we already know he doesn't have creative bone in his body to create a situation like that.
You remember reading Taken Abroad, didn't you?
Right.
Was that not creative enough for you?
Story make. Pardon me?
Nothing. Go on.
But he would adopt and take other people's stories or things he sees on television, and they all have this weird value system in every one of them too. And like nobody could possibly live in that situation. It's like without feeling like shit about themselves. But him, it's laugh it off. His stuff is either stolen from his brother or the stories he hears his brother talk about, or some wives' tale out there. All kinds of shit. And he just kind of puts himself in the first person. That's all he does.
Blue Boy has just made a good point, which I'll have to take his word for, because I've not heard the Christmas tree story. I've heard it referred to loads of time. Tiffany said it's hilarious. I've never heard it. And he admitted, and I know it's an elaborate tale that seems to go on and have no sort of beginning, middle, or end, but he admitted he made it up. So it sort of gives credence to what I'm saying about him just creating these bizarre, elaborate...
No, it doesn't mean he never had a Christmas tree that he was describing, or somebody else had a Christmas tree that he was describing. It's not something he's creating out of whole cloth. He's talking about maybe a past experience of a Christmas tree he saw, and he's just. I'll have to have a listen
to it because I don't know the context in which the.
That's my view. I don't think he can create things like that. I really don't.
No, but it could be. It could be. It wouldn't be. It could be that far out of it. He doesn't know the difference between truth and bullshit. Which would make a lot of sense if you think about it. It's almost like he makes up his own reality, which of course he does. Like, the lawsuits are enough proof of that. It's like, what the fuck is this guy? Because, don't forget, he wrote that to the court or whatever. But he knew intelligent people were going to read it. Did he not think that we're going to read the chat log? Oh, let's just take his word for it. He clearly said no 1,000 times. Let's let this man off. Give him the $80 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's this is why I still find, even after all this time, I still find Lorne interesting. Only you said to me earlier, didn't you, Shin, that he's still fucking surprised. He's still, you think you've heard it all, and he still surprises you.
Yeah, that's really surprising to me. I thought I had this guy nailed down. He's just he surprises you in the most negative way possible. You know, it's even worse than you think. Kind of surprise.
What was the overall tale of Mikey's mum now? He met her in a bar. Is it the same bar that Paula worked in? So it was obviously in Nashville.
No, this is down in Nashville, bro.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, that's right. So
This
it
is
wasn't it
Kayla,
like
the Kayla saga.
wasn't it a few nights before he got busted or something?
No, that was somebody else. You know, if you want to talk about another lie in this thing, let's talk about the air mattress. There's so many times in the chat log where he's trying to convince Kayla that the floor is comfortable, and that when she comes, she'll be sleeping on the floor. Wouldn't there be mention of an air mattress at that point? I don't know.
Well,
but you know,
yeah. That's why I don't believe he was banging all these women down in Nashville.
And he popped it. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that Mikey's mom was a Nashville thing where he picked her up at a bar in Nashville, probably the karaoke bar. And Mikey was only 19, by the way, according to one of the versions I heard.
Yeah.
Which makes it weird that he's in a bar, but that's okay. We'll go with it. and then he Lornt takes them both out for a double date. That's weird. Are we doing the chat?
No, we're just
today?
Shooting the shit randomly. We don't do the chat without him because he don't like it. Well, he does, but you know, it's not his. He prefers the business.
What, the chat log?
Yeah.
You're doing the chat log again, are you?
No, we used to. We like to analyze it.
He analyzed my mother. Yeah,
but
no, well, I did try and do the chat a long time ago, but it gets really horrible and dark towards the end when you see how manipulative. It's quite difficult to stomach.
Yeah, we only do short stints of it. We can only, not that we can get through it any quicker, but we only cover about 2 pages per stream. Well, I think we're on the 40-second fuck me, every time I said that. Fucking time, the wasted time. 40-second stream, and I don't think we've even gone a third into the chat log, I'm wishing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Poor
that's
Tiffany.
like an achievement.
Huh?
Tiffany had a problem with the chat for a while, but she's coming back a little bit.
It
It really
did a bit
does
with
something
us.
to you, that document.
Andrew, we should occasionally do a chat log roulette type of deal.
We talked about that, remember?
What do you mean? Oh, right, yeah. Well, we can't really, because the problem with that is we lose our order then, don't we? Do you know what I mean? The
we
whole
have
point.
like 42. Don't we have like over 40 podcasts of it? I mean,
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're on like 42.
Parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if we did that, it'd kind of ruin our order, wouldn't it? Not that we'll ever get through it, because, you know. But anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to listen to that new call where he's just crying and he says he hates the internet, which was, I really enjoyed that bit. He doesn't kind of go like he did the first time where he goes, I fucking hate the internet. But he does have a bit of a... It's really interesting as well. It gives you more of an insight into his lack of understanding of what the internet is in case we needed one. Because he's like, he goes... What does he say now? He says like, I told her to stay away from the internet, but she just won't stop these. But it's like, I don't understand what he thinks that. Does he think the entire internet is a chat room with decoys and just dodgy romantic, you know?
He knows that the internet's got a lot of horny people on it trying to fuck each other because that's what he was and that's what he associates it with. So you get on the internet, you're going to get fucked.
So even if you're doing your online banking, you run the risk of getting hunted down by a predator. If you're just transferring money to your mother, I best be careful.
Yeah. Once you get on that internet, you're gonna be having some sex, whether you like it or not.
Well, if only it was that easy for Lorne. But I didn't. That's a quote. I didn't get a boner. What was that now? That was that call, wasn't it? Where he's talking. He's trying to explain to Casey that he's not a predator. After getting an official document that says he is one, he's like, "Oh, this RSO who's just been given a new evaluation that said he's still a predator is not a predator. I'm not a predator, I swear. It's all bullshit."
And in his defense, he makes it worse. He says things like, I don't spend hours looking at something like that or thinking about something like that. I mean, just the idea that it's a quantitative thing, you know? And the other thing is, he talked about when he's masturbating, if an image of a child came into his mind, he would stop. Like, that's a normal thing, you know? It's like, now see what I do now? But he doesn't understand that the image to begin with is where his problem is, you know? Well, I don't sit there and obsess over it. No, those things are very, very revealing about him.
I often think sometimes, I think it happened a couple of weeks ago, because I think I've said often, I like to listen to the robot calls while I'm working. It's a really decent background thing to have on, because you've just got a male voice. Sorry, because you've just got a robot voice and Lorne. There's not that many dynamics going on, so it's not that distracting. Like, I couldn't possibly listen to a Winnie call or anything like that. But there's moments when I think we're overdoing it with this guy, in case we don't already know it. I think we're like overanalyzing it. He's just a fucking idiot. Let's not go overboard. But yeah, I have other moments where I think there's something very fucking unusual about this guy's brain, like it's never been seen before. There's some problem there that we've never seen.
We should put him in like a cage and people pay money to visit.
Well, it is a freak show, isn't it? There's a reason why. I know the internet is full of really fucking, look at the internet. I know YouTube and whatever, there's loads of wacky shit people are into, loads of bizarre internet cult figures. There's people, really successful people on the internet that have fucking wrote the clue. You've got nothing about them at all. You know, it's like, how has this guy made it? So there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. And this is just a small area, but there's still, I would suggest, over the last 8 years or whatever it's been, there's been a lot of interest in Lorne, a healthy amount, you might say. If he was like a positive character, he could have profited out of it very well. So there's a reason why he's like at this freak show and we're all interested and we're all still, you know, because, you know, there's a lot of intelligent people in this community, a lot not so, but, you know, we're like, why are we interested in him still? Is it just for laughs? That's some of it, but there is still something that we're not quite getting yet. Do you get what I mean, Shin? You're quite the same. There's something that we've not quite figured out with this guy yet. We may never do. His brain's just very unusual, I think.
I think it's justice more than anything else. I don't feel that this man deserves to be free. I mean, to be all honest, I think he should have gotten the 20, 30 years for his attempt to create CP. But be that as it may, it is, you know, he's on the registry. He's always going to be on probation, and that seems to be okay with me. But the parts that I enjoy, or not enjoy, but I find most interesting and satisfying, is the parts where he reflects on getting caught on the show and how it fucked up his life. And he did that in the last call too.
He did, yeah.
I don't know, was that
broke
that was
down.
with Will, I think, or
Yeah.
Blue Boy. And when you get those moments of him or hearing about how his life is, how he fucked up his life and wish it never happened, and and all of those things. Those things are somehow oddly satisfying to me. And then of course he breaks off that and starts blaming other people and other things. But I like those moments where he has that clarity, where he's honest about where his life is, because otherwise he just wants to present himself as having the best life in the world. I think one of the expressions he had is he's breathing air. You're breathing air, you should be happy. But yeah, and the other thing, when I think about him, I always try to patch together his past, his life, and the thing that always comes up in my mind is his social isolation. He's isolated he's no friends ever, and the question I always have is, did the isolation cause him to be the way he is, or is the way he is the reason why he's isolated?
I think it would probably I think they would go hand in hand, wouldn't they? Because it's like if you're that way that you'd repel people, you struggle to make friends, girlfriends, all that kind of stuff, and to add on top of that, as you're growing up, you're not going to have those social interactions to make you grow. I think you hit the nail on the head there, because of course this is why he's so immature in any kind of relationships, but let's not forget, there is some things that do annoy me a little bit with a lot of the robot calls, and all of them really, is that people will go in the comments and they'll go, oh, listen to Lornt getting so jealous, he's a monster. I'm like, well, he is, but let's just see the truth for what it is. He's way out of his depth. He's in these relationships with a porn star or whatever she is. You've got all these she's got a dildo shaped like her ex's genitalia, who lives in or next door. She's in a relationship with another woman. It's like Lornt cannot handle this, and very few people would be able to do. And he's being manipulated and pulled and pushed. He's being fucked with to the nth degree. The robot is horrible to him. It's like I've never heard, and it may happen in calls that we've not had, but the robot never says anything, even remotely positive about him. It's always put down, beasting.
He says the way we used to be and all that shit.
But the way we used to be might just be not insulting him.
Not insulting each other, yeah. I loved it when we were mild acquaintances.
That's when I really fell in love with you. But it does kind of, I think some people look at it, and anything that Lornt says, when he even raises his voice, it's like, there's confirmation that he's a piece of shit. Well, we already know he's one. Let's look at it for how it is. He's being fucking destroyed. He's way out of his depth. Every catfish has been way out for his depth. He's with Casey Moreau. He's with that Ramona who's got all these friends, and a doctor that wants to bone her. Then
it's not just that. He thinks he deserves things he doesn't.
Well, that's part of his bizarre sort of appeal, and I mean appeal, and is in why he's interested. Is that there is this, and I don't like this narcissism word that gets thrown around far too much, but it may be accurate with Lornt. It's like this narcissistic personality disorder, there's got to be some merit to that, because the way he thinks about himself, it's almost like I wish I had some of that self-confidence. I don't think it's real self-confidence, because it backfires in him, and it's not true, but he, he's like a cockroach. He never stops. You can't kill the motherfucker. He keeps coming and coming and coming up with new schemes, and he seems to have a positive, spin on things. But of course, he fucks up so much. It's like listening. What was interesting about the last call as well, where Will's talking to him, is he goes into a little bit of detail about his financial history. That was what was really interesting, because Will's he keeps going, I can care for Jamie. I can provide for her. He's like, Lornt, you're 10 grand in debt. You was declared bankrupt. You don't have a job. It's like, yeah, but I've got a job interview in 2 weeks. And you're just thinking, what is this guy? He thinks he can provide for this fucking woman, and he can't even feed himself.
But everything will change when she gets there, bro. That's the whole thing with him. But you know what else surprised me about that call? And I think it was that call. I'm confusing the two with Blue Boy, maybe. he admitted to wanting to off himself. Did you hear that? We've never heard that
wanting
before.
to
have we?
off himself. I don't know what you mean.
I thought he didn't believe in suicide.
Yeah, but did anybody else hear that? Because I'm pretty sure I heard that and didn't dream it. He was talking about after the sting, when he was in prison, he was thinking about doing that. I don't know if we
Yes,
can say
that's right. He said that when he, but wouldn't anybody at least think that for a second? Just imagine being caught in that scenario, and you're
But
like,
we never heard him say that.
no.
He's always been this delusional guy who who just walks around dumb and happy no matter what he does. In this case, he apparently had some really self-reflection about how fucked his life is now.
Is that
And something happened. I think he's full of shit. I don't think he
Well,
ever
I'm just going to
wanted
say, do we think that is? Was he saying that to garner sympathy, or do we think that was a
No doubt.
genuine?
No doubt. It's almost like a veiled threat for Will to pass on to Jamie. He has the capability of doing that. He's felt so down before that he's wanted to do that. You might want to call him. He pulled out every manipulative tool in the toolbox, man.
Yeah, and I got the impression is a lot of his tears were because what he did is he cried at one point and he went, "It makes me so sad because that's not the person I've always been." It's like, yes, it is. It is the person you've always been. But this is what's frustrating about him. His brain is so jumbled up. He can't even begin to. I don't think he has the ability for true self-reflection. I just don't think he does.
Yeah, look what he'd have to reflect on. Are you kidding me? I'd stay away from that shit too. I mean,
it's like is it a defense mechanism for his?
Yeah. It's the past is 5 minutes ago. I need to forget about that. That's his only way of dealing with it.
There is moments though of not self-reflection but self-awareness. I can't remember the call, but it was where something about, "Oh, what did you do tonight, Lornt?" "Oh, I was on the phone to my girlfriend when she got her ass waxed or something." And it was like someone actually pointed it out in the comments because I missed it, and someone very cleverly put, and they time-stamped it and said, "That's the first time I've ever heard any self-awareness from Lornt." Because at that point, he was able to step out of that situation and look at it from a reasonable person's perspective and go, "This is mental. What the fuck am I doing on a phone to some?" But it gets weirder than that, because he could have gone one step further and goes, "What did you do last night, Lornt?" "I was on the phone to my girlfriend with a male robot voice while she pretended that she got her ass waxed. It was being, you know what I mean?" You could go further, but at least
would be
there was
true self-awareness. That would be true self-awareness.
Well, no,
saying,
that's figuring out that he's getting catfished. That's just stupidity. That's not necessarily self-awareness. But it showed he had an ability.
He would step outside the situation.
Yeah, it showed he had an ability to look at how it would appear to somebody else. Now, I didn't think that he had that ability because it wouldn't seem like it, would it? But I don't know. There's been moments. It's very odd.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is that self-awareness, that example you gave, is within that delusion. It's not like him saying, "I was on the phone with," like you said, the latter version, on the phone with a male robot voice who said she's a porn star, and I, wasting my time doing that. That's different. He's saying the actual delusion of this porn star was getting her ass, whatever, waxed by Will. So his self-awareness was within the delusion. It wasn't really completely from the outside looking in.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but in order for that, he'd have to understand that he was getting catfished, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? And I think there's many reasons why that doesn't happen a lot of the time. He doesn't want to begin to contemplate it because he can't face, that it might be. I don't think he wants to face up to the fact that it could be bullshit, because then it takes away what he's got, and then he's got nothing. He'd sooner have the catfish. I don't think he knows it. This is the thing with Lornt. He doesn't understand his own emotions. He doesn't understand his own thoughts. He doesn't understand anything about anything.
He's just fucked, really. He should just be put down. That's the best.
That's a
Rather
very
than
cruel
puzzling.
assessment.
Well, based on what you're saying, like he doesn't understand anything. Like this world isn't for him. He's just a fucking freak that will try to fuck anything. He's an animal.
There's lots of people like him out there, unfortunately. Not quite as,
he's like
camp.
He's like an alien from Men in Black.
Yeah, that's a great. Strangely enough, it was on the TV yesterday. I saw one of them wacky aliens.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's exactly what
He could
like.
easily
It's like,
go.
whoa,
on
we've
show.
never seen anything like this before. What the fuck is that? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, it's been short and sweet. Like I could imagine. God, I mean, would you watch Lorne having sex, Adam?
You asked me this
Where the hell
before.
that come
I
from?
want to know again.
I said I'd watch him be raped.
Oh, that's right,
man.
you did. Whoa, we don't want this. I don't want my channel to get fucking destroyed, dude. Cannot retract.
Sorry, I'd watch him get pumped by a man, but not in a loving way, in a vicious sort of.
What is this
But
exercise? man?
I don't know if I'd really watch it. I just think if that happened, I'd prefer to watch that than watch him.
Yeah,
like,
sorry, I forgot. I've already asked you that question. I should have stayed away from
Yeah.
that. Just for anybody that's, I'm just intrigued
Right.
to see if a Lorne sex tape existed. Right, I'll put it out there in the chat
You'd
before we
watch
go.
it.
If Lorne and Paula, one night in Lorne or something like that, or well, actually, one night in Paula
Was
it
she
would be.
pegging him?
That'd be his brother's. Let's not go there.
Yeah, one night in Lorne by Lorne's brother.
By Ralph. No, oh sorry. Oh shit. What? Right, yeah. Let's just stop right there. Right, okay. Let me put this scenario forward to people in
Lorne
the
hung
chat.
strong.
If we had a Lorne Paula sex tape, who would watch it and who wouldn't? Just out of interest. Like, because the curiosity would fucking kill me. It's like, was Lorne actually able to... It'd be like a freak show, wouldn't it? Well, of course it'd
I
be a
feel
freak
like
show.
I'd have an obligation to, like a juror would, who has to look at gruesome crime scene photos.
Exactly. That's exactly... I like
And just to
that.
verify. I mean, that's beyond it. I mean, that would be my only interest. But I the things I'd be looking at is to make sure it's him.
No,
And,
but
I don't
if
know
we
what else.
knew it, if we knew...
Oh, you're so loose. You're so loose. That's remember. I want to see what the wet center is exactly. Like,
You're so loose.
Do you know what'd be
Yeah,
funny is if it was like the
I have no
worst
choice.
sexual performance by any man ever. It like lasted
Could
2.5
you ever imagine having
seconds.
sex with a woman and going, "You're so loose"? Though.
I would stick around to the end when Lorne cries after sex. I would definitely stay for that.
Yeah, that's always the best bit. I don't even
Wow,
think
that
that
was
he
a-
got titty fucked down by the brook. I reckon that was his brother's
That was-
testicles.
I want I'd want to see the toe thing, but I don't want to see it under the table. I want to see it happening have it verified. See what the fuck kind of characters we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That's another story. I guarantee
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pawned
Well,
off someone
it
else.
didn't happen, did it? None of it ever happened.
When does Lorne ever walk around with sandals or whatever? Did he take off his shoes and socks? And I don't know. There's just too much to get into here. But I believe that's a story he stole from somebody else.
What?
Yeah.
What is?
The toe.
When
Oh, right. Well, I mean, that's not as crazy as some of his other wacky tales. It is a bizarre thing to come up with.
Sex tales? Sex stories? How many are there? You got the Paula. We've got the toe.
Mikey's
We got
mom,
Mikey's mom.
Debbie.
Debbie.
The English Debbie that we've just talked about.
Oh, and there was that girl that he was going at it for like hours. And they ended up on
Yeah.
the
Well,
floor.
that's just fucking ridiculous. That I remember that. That's just what someone would say. Just trying to convince. Oh yeah, I'm super stud. Yeah, I did it for 5 hours. No, you fucking didn't. You lying prick.
And they landed on the floor and they just didn't stop. They didn't stop.
And he's like, it's impossible in real life for any man to actually last longer than about 20 minutes.
I think my
with
record's
any
about
woman.
fucking 4.5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, seconds.
Then you got something in the chat log where he told Kayla that women have told him he's got the most beautiful penis they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
That's a good one.
women tell you that all the time, don't they? I
Yeah.
can't remember how many times they've said that to me.
Sending Valentine's cards to it and
Just give you a rating out of 10.
just showing it to that. Show my mum your penis. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was really funny on the chat. I can't remember. I think it was Hear Meow, his chat. I think he did with. No, it was Wes. They did October 5th, I think it was, and the conversation was going, and then Kayla finally says, "Do you think you could put the camera on your face now?" So that meant the entire time that conversation, since he said you want to see it, which was like 2 pages before that, she was just talking to a penis on the monitor. I
Mr. Penis.
can't fathom that. What's he thinking? Is he having a normal conversation? What's he doing? Rigging it around? I mean, what's he doing? Why would a girl want to see? Anybody want to see that?
It's lucky he was kept away from the internet. Like after all these Zoom meetings and everything, he wouldn't understand not to get his cock out if he had to go on a Zoom meeting.
Clay, I didn't know. Shit, I'll check it out, man. I didn't know if they were if they're live streams. I'll try to make it. I'll hit my notification on that. Sorry about that, bro.
Oh, they're always on at times when I'm in bed. These things, anyway. That's my excuse. Anyway, we are gonna have to get going because we started this much later than we usually do, just because it was kind of a last minute thing, really. Because this is only like the second stream I've done in the last few weeks in the middle of Lornt, so I almost feel like it's my obligation to do these every so often. So, so I hope everybody has enjoyed this little chat about Lornt during this time. Thanks for coming by, Adam and Shin.
Yeah, thanks, Blue Boy and Reborn, for those 2 new tapes. That was great.
Yeah, I was thinking, actually, isn't it cool that we're still getting new content? Do you know what I mean? It's like even after all this time, you still get little bits that come out, and it's still entertaining, even though a lot of it can't not be regurgitated, just like our conversations. It's still entertaining, There's a new tale, there's a new character, there's a new crazy scenario. He's got there's a new... it never ends. It's such a bizarre thing. But anyway, so thank you very much, guys. I do not know when we'll be back. What day is Lawmas Day this year? Anyone?
That
Can
would
we get
be
calendar out.
October the
11
8th.
days from now. So
It's what?
I think it's a Thursday, isn't it? No,
I've got my calendar here. 18th. It's a Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Week on Friday.
Yeah, it would be good to check in on that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. It might be away, but I'll let you all know. But right, okay, we'll have to wrap it up. Thank you to Shin and Adam. Thank you for you guys for listening in. Take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll catch up with you.